Man. Yeah. So, America's falling apart. Or it seems that way, anyway.
I definitely got to... Yeah, something's wrong.
Or has it been...
It's shaken. America is definitely shaken.
I don't even know if shaken's the word for it. Has it ever been... Can you remember... I would say your lifetime, because it's the exact same as mine, basically. Do you ever remember any more standoffish, divided, boiling, I guess, between A and B, or Democrat and Republican, because that's really what it is, left and right, than it is right now?
Okay.
Because you could say, like, in human history, obviously people say the Civil War. That video I sent you, they mentioned a lot about the Civil
Russell
War.
Brand, shout out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Unofficial sponsor.
Yeah.
Monster.
What? Oh. Cause the Civil War was obviously...
Did I tell you about that? What's in this?
Just
Eagle semen, shark blood, and it was blessed by a Nordic mermaid.
Why a Nordic mermaid? What makes it Nordic? It's like I'm reading a cue card. Like this had been come up with before.
I just want all the folks to know at home what gives me my inspiration. Eagle semen.
Not the Nordic mermaids.
Nah, they got boobs. Boobs are problems. Sorry.
And they cost money. Wheels and boobs.
So, if you want to talk about within the country, I can't remember a time.
Not in our lifetime.
I mean, in our lifetime, if you want to get like world span, A versus B,
Wow.
I mean...
Yeah, I mean, it's been all over the world. There's
Desert
always...
Storm,
Yeah.
9/11. And it's funny.
I'm talking about within a nation.
No, that's what...
Within a nation in and of itself.
No, God, no.
Not in America. Maybe like in the 60s, the Civil Rights Movement. Because that was very A versus B.
Oh, yeah.
And clearly, like...
40s into the 60s. 40s to 60s, yeah.
Like, yeah. I don't think there was as much question as who's right and who's wrong as it was then. Because that was pretty clear cut. Like, all right. Segregation's wrong. Clearly. So that was a very strict ideology that was saying, no, it's not. It should be this way. It was very niche. A very niche ideology.
Witchcraft. I don't have one of those things.
Witchcraft. Now it's not so much that. Now it's not so much clear cut who's right, who's wrong, depending on who you are, because there's going to be the extremists on either side that say, "Oh, this side's obviously right."
Let me cut you. Just let me interrupt you for one quick second.
All right.
Either side can be right and wrong.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But facts are facts.
Right.
There's both sides are wrong to fact. Both sides are right with fact.
Yes. I think what you're getting at is it's whatever facts fit their narrative. This is what they present.
Well,
look at this. This is what's going on. This is factual information, but they leave out the other facts.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
But if you lay out all the facts in a row, in order, from start to finish in regards to a subject, and this is where a lot of the problem is coming from, no side wants to admit who's right. Because, like you said, they're going to divide the facts as to make their argument.
Right.
But both sides are wrong in a lot of instances when you look at all the facts.
Right.
You know.
Am
I saying the right's always right? No. Am I saying the left's always right? No. Am I saying they're either both of them are always wrong? No.
I used to be a Democrat, like way back in the Bush administration. Actually, that's
the first Bush or second Bush.
The second Bush. The Bush administration is when I.
How was that second Bush?
I don't know. It was really dirty. Behind the scenes in the dark.
Stumbled a lot of words there too, I guess.
Yeah.
Dude, all I can think of is Harold Kumar escaping Guantanamo Bay. Oh, sorry. Dad, I don't need you and your friends telling me how to do my shit. Sorry. You know what's funny, folks? And this guy, oops, sorry.
Are you okay?
I'm okay. I'm sober. 100% sober. I'm tired, but I'm not yawning.
Yeah, that's cocaine. That's speed. Trucker speed. During the second Bush administration, that's when I don't want to say savvy, but I started to pay attention to politics, mostly because of Howard Stern. And
yes,
which I've said this a couple times. Back in the early mid 2000s, it was all the left. It was the right coming down or cracking down on censoring everything. That's when we were listening to Howard Stern show all the time at the factory.
Yep.
All the time, censoring, like, so we have censorship, the good, like what's indecent, and like, and the left was
cancel culture, pre-cancel culture.
That's basically what it was. The left was defending freedom of speech, hardcore.
Oh yeah.
So I naturally was like, yeah, absolutely, freedom of speech. Like, you shouldn't be able to censor everything. So from then on, I voted Democrat. I was very much left. And then toward the Obama administration, I voted Obama because I believed the hype train. You know, let's make change. And he was like, oh, this young hip, like appeal to the younger crowd. Smart move by the Democrats. And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker. And then that's when I learned these politicians say a lot of things, but they don't come through with anything. So the second time Obama went for the election, I just stepped away from politics. I just got completely out of it. Then I started to kind of just look at it objectively. It's like, well, I'm not going to consider myself left or right. I'm just going to kind of look and vote for what I think the country needs, which is what I still do to this day. Just so happens that after the Trump administration, I was like, okay, he's a dirty businessman, but boy, he's doing a lot of things right. He took a lot of money out of China, or a lot of the money that we were giving to China, he was keeping that out of China. Actually, China was paying taxes toward us. He cooled tensions down between us and North Korea and Putin and Russia. So, as a person, pretty clear cut, like who Trump is. He's a dirty businessman, but he was doing a lot of things right. Was he? If he could stay off of Twitter, I think that was his biggest thing. The Twitter and Trump was like water and oil. It was just not good for his image.
Here's my theory on Trump, because I got a lot of respect for the guy. A lot of people were so when Trump train started, and I say that with all the encouragement or all the positivity that I possibly can, because I didn't jump on no Trump train, but I wasn't exactly.
I didn't either. Not when he was elected.
Yeah,
my investment at that point was like, interesting. Let's see where this goes.
Yeah. So within the first 6 months of campaigning, I came to the conclusion, and it wasn't until long.
These guys might be out of their fucking mind. Maybe they're not telling the truth.
No, and it wasn't until a couple years into the Trump administration where I started voicing my opinion, and people are like, "Oh, that kind of makes sense." Trump, like everyone was like, "Oh, I like Trump the best because he's a straight shooter. He tells you how it is." No, Trump isn't a straight shooter. Trump, he is a straight shooter, depending on what he's talking about.
That's true.
He didn't speak straightforward to you. He spoke to you like an idiot. Not like an idiot. No, he spoke to you like in layman's terms.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm sorry, but how do you get everybody to love you? You reach them on a level that anybody and everybody can grab.
I was just going to say, which was great for his communication with everybody, which is why a lot of people ended up liking Trump. It was basically like going, maybe not so vulgar, but talking with just an average guy at a normal job.
No, not even that. It's like going to the bar and talking about the last sports game.
That's what I mean.
Like, oh man,
just
the
like
fucking strike.
Just there's not a lot of like etiquette or anything like that. It's just some guy talking in a rough like situation or whatever.
Well, here's where I was going with this, and like I said, I started telling people this like thought, my opinion, and a lot of people are like, oh crap. You know, I remember. Do you remember back in the day, school wise, because it has been a while. They would talk about what made a politician. Look at Bill Clinton. You know, he spoke to you directly. He gestured. He pointed. He was always like...
Because it shows confidence.
It's just...
Talking with hands shows confidence.
That's probably why Italian
For those of you just
so
listening
confident.
and not watching the video, I have my hands flail in just about every one of these I do.
Well, I'm sitting there fidgeting like I got a crack problem or something. But Trump broke that mold. You know, Clinton was very, very etiquette, very articulate. Barack Obama, another one, classic example. Look at George Bush, all the support he had. Sophisticatedville or something like that.
That was a big thing that the left threw at George Bush or his administration. It's like, oh, he's a C student from Harvard, I think he graduated from.
I don't know.
He could barely talk. He'd stumble over his words. I was like, well, yeah, that's very true.
Look at all the support he had.
Yeah.
But
Dick Cheney was basically the president, and he was just kind of the puppet sitting there. It was Lewis Black that said, like,
yeah,
you ever watch the two of them speak? Anytime Dick Cheney's taking a drink, Bush never speaks. It's because he's got his hands shoved so far up his ass.
I remember that. Yep. No, but Trump broke that mold, and I think that's what pissed a lot of the right wing or whatever it is. I don't even know anymore. I don't even know. But that's what I think pissed a lot of his anti-Trump off. The fact that he didn't care whether you liked what he had to say.
Right.
He didn't care if he said it in a manner that seemed childish to you.
Right.
He got his message across.
Yeah, which is smart. Smart on his point, or from his whatever.
But
saying that, do you think in the last election, and I clearly already have an answer to this, I guess I think it's sort of opinion, but really not. Do you think more people voted for Biden or against Trump?
Against Trump.
Yeah.
It's funny that you mentioned that because of Tim Pool made that comment, and he said that, and I was like, holy crap. I actually watched a couple more of his videos after that link you sent me.
Oh, Tim Pool is very articulate. He's kind of like the...
he doesn't look it.
No, he's like the B-side Ben Shapiro. Like, Ben Shapiro is so freaking intelligent, it pisses you off. Like, you want to hate the guy? Because he always has a freaking answer for everything.
Yeah. Well, like Charles Kirk.
That I don't know. You have to send me him.
Oh, my God. He's the change my mind guy?
All right.
Do you ever see that?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. He's that guy.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I love him. I love him. He's great. And Ben Shapiro. Ben Shapiro's another one.
Yeah. Like, I want to hate him, but, like, I love watching, because anytime he's talking about, like, any kind of extreme
Caitlyn
leftist,
Jenner.
and any kind of transgender arguments,
you're gonna go
feminist arguments, racial arguments, like, why is America systemically racist? He's like, well, it's not. And then he rattles off a bunch of these, like, factual information that you can't argue with. It's like, he's fucking right.
I hate you for being right. I want to punch you in your face when you tell me more right facts.
Yeah, when I first heard him, I was like, what the fuck? This guy's like a shithead. But no, I love listening to him now.
Okay, what's the first video you ever saw of his?
Oh God, I don't know. Wait, maybe I do. I think it was one of his viral videos, the one where he talks about Boy Scouts.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
The whatever.
Girl.
I think it's a woman. I don't know. Maybe it's, I don't know. Whatever.
He's talking to a woman.
Yeah.
And he makes the comment about, well, she's
like, where does it say that you can't have girls and boys, or where does it say that it's only boys and Boy Scouts? And he goes, in the name Boy Scouts. I'm like, well, he's right.
Well, then he also, I like that one too, especially because that's when he goes into the argument. He's like, so do you identify as
like, how old are you? She's like, well, I'm 23, so I'm probably young and naive and don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, why aren't you 60?
And then you can't change your age.
Yeah,
you can't change gender.
Yeah. But that's where I was introduced to him, and then I'm like, all right, who is this guy?
Yeah. And
then I started listening more and more, and I'm like, dude, this guy has freaking answers for everything. And that'll drive anybody nuts. Like
drives him to fight.
Yeah, I've said it on like some of my solo things before. Like now I consider myself conservative with libertarian like sprinkled in there, because there's a lot of things I'm liberal. Like, you want to identify as a tree, I don't fucking care. Like, whatever. You're a man, and tomorrow you're a woman, and the next day you're kind of in between. Don't really know. It just depends how the wind blows. I don't fucking care. Whatever. I'm very much against someone walking in my house being like, this is what I am, and this is what you have to treat me. And like, fuck no. Like, no. Like, I don't have to. Like, if an Asian person comes to my house, I don't have to deck out my house in fucking like Asian apparel and shit and be like, oh yeah, this is no. I'm not gonna do that.
You know what started all this? Silence of the Lambs. Plurals.
Explain.
It puts the lotion on its skin, or else it gets the hose again. She didn't put the lotion on
Buffalo Bob.
Fucking Buffalo Bob.
That was Bill. Unreal.
What's your name again? Joe Dirt. Joe Dirt. Okay.
That thing you're doing with the dog comes off a little fruity.
Where's my supplies?
Fine.
Here. Oh, we gotta sprinkle in the humor.
That's right. You gotta keep it. At least us real.
Sprinkle a little crack on them. Open this up, case, Johnson.
Going back anyway. So
I agree with you.
Talking about
anti-Trump. They voted anti-Trump.
Yeah,
a lot of people did.
Anti-Trump. That's and leading up to the election, the summer before is when I really started getting sucked in. The spring before, really, I started getting sucked into what was going on with the left. And this is what the problem with the left that I had, the extreme left I'm talking about, not like libertarian, because libertarian or liberals are not the real problem. It's the extreme left, which is beyond. This is what I'm like Antifa, talking about defunding the police.
Yeah. You explain to me why he's shaking his head no. I think he's disagreeing with you.
That's fine. It's a bobblehead.
I know, but he just starts shaking his head for no reason.
The extreme left, like Antifa and all these fascist groups, I guess, that are talking about defunding the police. They took over Portland, Oregon, for a couple weeks anyway, until they were dwindled down to like just the street or two or whatever it was. But
actually, there was something in the news just recently about another incident where the police actually it was in Portland, Oregon. The police refused to answer the calls,
which they've done that before in other cities. So I'm not. I should be surprised and shocked, but sadly I'm not. What happened is when all that happened, about a year or so ago, a little over a year ago, it caused, I think as a majority, it caused people like me who tried to be completely as objective as possible, who would lean one way or another depending on what I felt the country needed. That was happening, and that pushed people like me that were dancing the line to go right, as far away from that as possible, which you think would cause a lot of the vote to go toward Trump in the election. But what happened, what I was also watching that whole time, is the Biden administration, and hats off to them, they were going after each individual small like cluster of groups. The trans, they have the one trans member of their cabinet they have for some health or something or other. They have a member of the cabinet that's transsexual. They went for the gay community. They went for the African American community. They went for the poor, which they always do. We'll give you free money. We'll give you free money. They went for every quote-unquote minority, or I guess minority group, and then pegged the racist card on the Republican, which if anyone ever calls you sexist or racist, even if you clearly are not, it's one of those things that as soon as someone labels that you, that seed's been planted, and it's like, well, you're a racist, and what are you going to say? No, I'm not. What the fuck are you going to do? Like, because now you have that stigma on you. And that's what they did to Republicans. So they have all these small groups, and then they got Kamala Harris, a black female, as the vice president, who completely, before she was named vice president, or the vice presidential candidate, she tore Biden apart.
Oh, yeah.
brought out the fact that he voted against desegregation back in 1968 or whatever it was.
Later than that.
Whatever it was.
I think it was in the 70s.
Whatever it was. He voted against desegregation. He
60s, you're right, sorry.
Spoke he gave a eulogy at I think it was a recruiter for the KKK who he was close friends with, and actually who he went back to many times and consulted while he was holding office in politics already.
Oh, yeah.
She brought all that up. And then she was suddenly named vice presidential candidate. All that went away. And suddenly she's cackling it up with him. They're best of friends. So they got that vote, and they have all the other minority votes. So they went after everyone that was the minority, got all their votes, got the regular Democratic votes that they were going to get anyway. And then they went after the racial thing and picked apart Trump, his MAGA, the MAGA hat things, whatever boys. And
Proud Boys.
Yeah, the Proud Boys. Yeah, because Antifa and the Proud Boys were going at it back in like 2016 or 18 or whatever the hell it was. So they picked apart all that and got all these votes. So what they did was basically go after the uneducated vote. And I was watching this happen in real time, and I'm like, wow, I still didn't think they were going to win because I didn't think they had enough until I realized like how many people went and voted against Trump. Maybe not all of them voted for Biden, but 81 million, a lot of them voted for Biden.
Oh, yeah.
Because they just voted against Trump. They said, I don't know who this Biden guy is. Clearly, if they knew about his like background with everything, all the shit that's been going on, I don't think they would have voted Biden. They probably would have voted independent or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
So then we get 81 million votes, 75 million for Trump. It was like, wow, that should be a winning number in any other year. But Biden gets 81 million. Jesus. A lot of people are like, oh, the vote was stolen, and falsified, this, that, and there's no way he got 81. I think he got 81 million. Like I said, I think the Democrats just did a hell of a job getting everyone they possibly could to just go out and vote, even if they didn't know what the hell they were voting for. And that shows 81 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely think that
God, that's a lot of people in this country.
Biden didn't win so much as Trump just lost, if that makes any kind of sense.
No, it does. It does, because it's like a round robin tournament when you stop and think about it. Even the last place team could end up winning by
clearly
default,
because he wasn't even. I don't even think he was any. He was like not doing good in the primaries. Like, he was just never anywhere near anything. Then suddenly, like, it's like the Armatron thing. He just picks an old guy that barely knows what's going on. Like, oh, puts him in the chairs. Like, buddy, you're leading the parade.
Claw.
Like, yeah, you're leading the parade, buddy.
Oh, I didn't get any practice.
Yeah. And watching him now is. When he got elected, like, don't get me wrong, like I wasn't gonna pull some like right wing nut or hardcore Republican thing. It's like, fuck him, this, and like he's not the president. I was like, all right, he's the president. I hope he does well. I hope he proves me wrong. Like, I'm not gonna like hope the guy bad or anything. I don't want no matter who the fuck is in charge, I don't want him to do bad because that reflects upon the nation, which reflects upon us individually.
Affects us in general.
Yes. So I don't want that. So he got elected. I'm like, all right, let's see what he can do. Maybe he will bring the country back together. She sort of is right now. We'll get to that.
That I'd like to figure out how, if you don't mind. I'm just
all right.
That one. Well, no. Let's finish your.
Well, no. This is it. So yeah, I was hoping. It's like, all right. I hope he does well. And well, and now we are what? It's 9 months in.
It's almost 10, yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
He's definitely bringing the country together in some way, shape, or form. Bringing us together at the hip to fuck each other in the ass.
Well, I don't. Okay. No.
I'm gonna be at the front line.
This is all right. So through the first 6 or 7 months of this campaign or this administration, now it was very divided. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's still very divided. Like. Very heated.
Oh, yeah.
But what's starting to happen now, was it a week? Maybe a little more than that? Or maybe not even? that he dropped the mandate.
About a week.
Yeah, I think it was last Thursday or whenever it was. He dropped the vaccination mandate, which, by the way, are you forced to do that? Are you in a union?
No, I'm not in a union.
No. Just not more than 100 employees?
Well, here's the thing, and this is where, like, a lot of people are getting mad about, like, in particular, like, my job with the company I work for. I won't say the name, but as a whole, the company employs a very sufficient amount of people. But each individual location.
Right. Oh, so they're like kind of contracted kind of deals?
No, actually, it's its own company, but it's like, we'll call it the XY store. There's the XY store that has 50 or 1,000 locations, XY mini stores around the country that all sell this product. And that's basically what it is. Like the XY store as a whole has probably 20,000 people working for it.
Right.
But each individual store has under 100.
All right.
So in my workplace, we don't have over 100 people. For the company as a whole, it does. Well,
see, I wondered how that was going to work because
that's where a lot of the loopholes are coming from. Like I'm not anti-vaccination. I just I don't believe. I don't support the vaccine. Do I discourage people from getting it? No. Do I encourage people to get it? That's their choice. I can't give them the facts or the doubts. Well, I won't.
I think you have the same opinion as me and pretty much everybody else I've talked to. Like, I have not run into anybody who... All right, well, I have for the other side, but I have not run into anybody who is... Well, how come you gotten vaccinated? I mean...
How come you haven't gotten vaccinated?
John has. But he does it just to bust your ass.
Oh, yeah.
You know. But I've not...
Is he vaxxed?
Yeah. He got it just because they offered it. He got it, like, last spring or whenever it was. Like, right when it was first coming out.
Here, we're offering $1 million with but there's only one condition. What's that? You gotta have an anal probe that tracks all your spendings.
Oh! And there I am.
Okay. Well, you mean you're offering it? I'll take it.
Yeah.
Keep $1 million.
Yeah. I'll just take $10 for gas.
No, but you see, to get a vaccine on that basis alone, not enough. I don't discourage him for it.
Yeah, well, that's
I'm not
it.
gonna rag on him for it, but
no, me neither. Like, you do what you do, whatever. Again, I don't care if you think it's good for you. Which, okay, even though I have a member of my family who was vaccinated, and they have lymphoma. And they caught COVID anyway. They were told to get vaccinated. It's like, listen, you're what's the word I'm looking for?
Susceptible?
Your immune system.
Oh,
compromised. Yeah, basically is compromised. Yeah, so you should get the vaccine to protect yourself more.
Yeah.
So we got it. His first week that he got it, he ended up getting autoimmune deficiency. So his body was attacking itself, basically. But that blew over, and he was fine. And then that was maybe a couple months ago. Just in the last week, he caught COVID and ended up bleeding from his lungs. And he actually, he said, talked to Amanda. He's like, Amanda, I got this because they said this was going to fucking, this wasn't supposed to happen. And here he is in the hospital. You know, he's sedated and all this shit, which he's getting better now.
Good.
But the fact is, like, he got it because of his situation. It wasn't split, and then it did anyway. So, yeah, John got it. He got it. But like I said, going back, I've not talked to anybody who's been, well, why aren't you vaccinated? You should get vaccinated. Seriously. I've not seen that.
And see, it's funny that you bring that up because I haven't ran into anybody like that either.
No.
But it's funny that that's all you see portrayed on the news. That the whole country is so divided. Speaking of division within the country, I saw a video, one of the videos I was perusing after I saw your link, about, you know, like Biden went on the platform to state how the problem isn't what's going on in the rest of the world. Like, totally blew off
the
situation with Afghanistan. The problem within the United States
is the unvaccinated.
Is the unvaccinated. Yeah. He's so adamant. Like,
do you think that's because he seriously believes it, or they're just trying to take attention away from Afghanistan? Because that was a fucking debacle.
I think they're trying to take attention away from everything. Right. Because what you're not seeing, like, if you really... if you go on like any of the major social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok even, you'll find them on TikTok. Google, not so much. You have to do digging, but you can find them, but you won't find them like that. There's a lot of like anti-Biden stuff going down. Like there was one football game he was at a week or two ago.
Oh, there's a video, a compilation of like football games, 9/11 memorial that he showed up at.
Yeah,
he's going to that baseball games,
and they're chanting against him.
Yes, all right. I mentioned this earlier, where Biden is like I think inadvertently bringing the country together. Clearly not everybody, because there's still the left, and Democrats are going to be very much Biden. But now I'm starting to see, when he made the mandate, that's why I brought it up, instantly the right went, that's unconstitutional, which I already made that short audio about, like, no, it's not unconstitutional. There's nothing in the Constitution about my choice, my body, my choice, or anything about health or anything like that. And I brought up the Nuremberg trials. It's very much the first article, or the first point in the Nuremberg trials, it is or the Nuremberg Code. It's a complete violation. I read it out word for word. It's a violation of the first one. Some of the other ones, hit and miss. There's a couple other ones that it goes against, but the first one straight up is a violation. I'll let you read it after.
Yeah.
So he came out with that, and a lot of people are at first unconstitutional, but they all agree this is wrong. You should not be able to just go as a president and be like, you have to get this shot. Like, it's completely like individual choice. It should be individual choice. This is where it's starting to bring people together. The right and the Republicans, initially, this is wrong. Independent people, vaccinated or not, also, no, that's wrong. Vaccinated people are saying, no, that's wrong. Democrats who are and aren't vaccinated are now coming out and being like, listen, I voted Biden and I'm vaccinated, but this is fucking wrong. So you're starting to get a lot of this other people starting to swing. I'm not going to say toward the right, because in this scenario it has nothing to do with political affiliation. This is fucking individual right. No, you cannot come out and say, you need this, get it, or else I'll take money away. I made the comment previously, and one of the other things I did, that come November 1st, Biden is going to take away health care to veterans who get their health care from the VA if they're not vaccinated. What the fuck?
You can't... Wow.
People who fought for the country, who served, who did time wherever, be it in Korea or Nam, or any of the Desert Storms, the
Grenada,
any of them.
Wow.
And they're saying, well, if you're not vaccinated, you lose your health insurance. The fuck? They are pissed.
They have every right to be.
Yeah. And this is where you're getting, because when he started doing that, now you're getting all the left wing and everyone going like, no, what are you doing? That's why I made the comment. He's starting to bring the country together inadvertently. I think this is how he planned it, because everyone's starting to be like, if they don't dislike Biden, it's going to be another Trump situation, I think, in 4 years, where they're just going to vote against Biden. Interesting. And then I thought of this scenario. I was like, what if this conspiracy theorist? I go, what if this was the whole plan from the get-go? It's like, we need a polarizing figure in office, more so than Trump, if you can believe that, who makes everybody on both sides hate him. So we all find common ground in something. What do? Nobody likes getting a shot. fuck, let's just push that. Here comes coronavirus.
Really? The shot? That's the best you can do? I mean, nobody likes getting fucked in the ass either, but...
A think tank, billions of tax dollars, and this is what you come up with.
Nobody, male and female, nobody likes shit getting rammed up in their pee hole.
Oh.
And
done with this.
No, but really, let's put a global pandemic, kill millions of people. No, let's just jam things up people's pee holes. We'll all be on the same fucking ground at that point. And we all can't walk right. We're all sore as fuck, but we still hate the president.
Yeah, what an asshole. For
or the Surgeon General.
Yeah.
Or me for sneaking into your room at night and doing it while you're asleep.
Yeah, what?
No, but so dude, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's
so
crazy.
I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, that's a little.
Yeah, but again, that part, that's the whole conspiracy theory. That was one of those things that popped into my mind, made me smile. Like, boy, wouldn't that be something?
No, I don't know though. That's. I mean, I could see where you're going with the inadvertently bringing the country together, but
again, it's not going to be all Democrats.
No,
there's still people. You see them on TikTok all the time. They're like, "Why aren't you taking the vaccine?" How many of these people are actually out there? Probably not a lot. That's why they're only on TikTok, because you get sprinkled throughout the nation.
Well, not even that. I mean,
most people I talk to, especially in my new job, which is the system and the whole the whole system is very liberal how they operate, but each individual worker, employee, if you talk to them, a majority of them are very right-wing, or at least conservative. So I think now
this is at your place of work.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the preconceived notion is, well, they're very liberal and whatever. And will you stop dancing with that thing? They're very liberal, and well, the system in which they work is very liberal. I think they have to be, though, because as soon as there's one social movement, I mean, it's like, fuck, now we got to jump on this because somebody in school is going to be pissy about it, and there we go.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to operate within those guidelines. But if you talk to each individual person, they just kind of like, I got to do what I got to do. And they share a lot of similar ideology as me. Some of them more extreme, one way or another, but...
Yeah, no, it's definitely a concept to consider possible because, like you said, a lot of people are kind of getting on the same page. But I mean, originally, going back to what we first started with, kind of first
what did you just say?
Well, getting back to what we first started talking about.
Starting to sound like Biden now.
True international pressure. I have hairy legs and.
Oh, jeez. Mister, I don't even know you.
I'm sorry, all you Biden supporters. All you Biden voters. If it makes you feel any better, I haven't voted for like the last 8 presidents.
And that's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, either you can say, well, you have no right to complain, and you say, well, like
that's why I don't complain.
Like George Carlin has said,
yeah.
Like, I have every right to complain because I didn't put these fuckers in office. You did.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. George Carlin, rest in peace. I have the right to bitch. None of y'all do. You voted. None of you do.
That's partially right. I voted, and I have to agree with that one.
Genuinely, but that's why I don't complain because I didn't vote. I mean, I'll give you my honest opinion. If you bring me a factual situation like Charlie, here's 1 through 10. The numbers go 1, 3, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna look at you and go, that's wrong. You want to start an argument about that? Be my guest, but I'm going to tell you, based off the facts, what I am judging by that position, that situation, as to what I feel is right in that moment.
Interesting concept. It's only wrong in a certain point of view. Is it supposed to be chronological? Yes, it's wrong. Is it the right numbers in that sequence?
Correct.
Yeah.
But that's just it, though. Like, but that's another thing. Like, so on a serious note, like with the vaccination on VA benefits. Mm-hmm. If I saw all of that and I saw no factual sound reasoning for them to genuinely deserve to lose their benefits, I'm going to sit there and argue to the death with somebody that that's wrong, that you take them away. But if you have a compelling argument and enough factual basis to base your side of the argument on to warrant the loss of their benefits, I might consider what you're saying based on fact.
Oh,
and
yeah,
how it's supposed to, what you're trying
to... But that's the way it should be. Like, if you present something, and this goes for anything that I've said that someone might disagree with, if you have some kind of information out there that's not like clickbait or meme or news article, look, it says this, but did you read it? If you have actual information, like, please argue it, like, discuss it. Like, I love the saying, keep the discussion going, because that keeps the discussion going without just, like, name calling and, like, finger pointing and thumb pokes, and, like, that doesn't do anything.
See, but right there's a stigma, and I don't think you corrected it. Keep the argument, keep the discussion going.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, though, that's what a lot of people view these discussions as. They don't see them as discussions anymore. It's got to be an argument.
Yeah, I know, because it's
stupid.
You always have to be the winner of any kind of confrontation. That's everyone's mentality. Yeah. It's not. I've said this a couple times to a few different people. We're in a point in history where it doesn't matter whether or not I'm right, just so long as you're wrong.
Yeah.
Like, that's where we're at.
Oh my God.
And that's really damaging. Like, really damaging. It's one thing when it's in a house, because then you just get every argument between, a man and a woman ever. But now it's on a political level. Yeah. And not even like a local mayor or anything. It's the president. Fucking national stage. It's Democratic parties and Republican parties and like, never mind what we're saying. Look what they're getting wrong. This is what we're going to focus on. It's like, well, what about what you're getting wrong? No. Let's not talk about that.
We have the center stage.
Racist. Huh? Yeah. That's where we're at.
That's another... if I could use this platform right here for anything, it's to genuinely reach out to people and stop that shit.
Do you need a hug?
No. I could use a free car, though. Everyone else in that fucking audience got a free car.
They all had to pay taxes. You hear about that?
I'll pay taxes on it.
They were pissed.
I don't blame them.
I would have sold the car.
Exactly. Ain't the profit. Just stop. Stop with that. Like, seriously, you don't need to call someone a racist because they disagree with you. You don't need to call somebody prejudiced just because they don't agree with the all lives, black lives, yellow lives, brown lives. I'm not a pedophile for sniffing him while he's asleep because he's a grown man.
It's true, sometimes.
No, but seriously, that's got to stop.
Can you imagine if that's what actually stops people? Just this clip goes viral and everyone's like, yeah, you know what? He's fucking right. I love you. Muslims and Shiites throw down their arms. He's absolutely right.
Peace in Jerusalem.
I love you too.
Imagine that. We're the platform. We're the fucking ones that start the fire. Joe Rogan. Up next on our show, we got cheese and quackers. What is it? Oh, it's Charlie and James. Come on in, guys. We're gonna have a podcast.
I shouldn't be here right now. The whole thing would be full of fucking stupid jokes and movie one-liners. Like, are we gonna have any substance to this? Like, probably not.
No, but seriously.
Actually, we just had a lot of substance right here. So
yeah, just link, dude, tag somebody. Even if it's just make a TikTok video, make a little meme Vine or whatever. Remember Vines were the hugest thing? Make that Vine. Make this a Vine. Do something.
Are they still a thing?
I think so. Actually, I do. Just stop. Listen. If you don't agree, just say, "Look, I don't agree. I'm sorry that that might upset you, but just you will literally win more by letting somebody say what they feel and then saying, I'm sorry, I disagree. This is my opinion. You don't even have to say
I disagree. Yeah. Just be like, oh, okay.
That's your opinion. There you go. You're a racist. Let's try this, folks. That's your opinion.
Well, you're right, but,
No, but
one other thing.
Yeah.
Before we go, because we're talking about division. Do you think America is systemically racist?
No.
I've talked to a lot of people, white, black, Hispanic. All of them know. I have not met one person who says yes, it is, even in the slightest.
All right.
Police, fire industry, schooling, the college, jobs, anything. There's nothing like I've heard it said many times. This time in this country right now is pretty fucking great. Like, maybe not right now with the mandate thing and all this shit, but beyond that, like, we're prosperous. If you have an idea, you got to work your ass off, but you can get there. Has nothing to fucking do with your color. Has nothing to do where you came from. If that was the truth, LeBron James wouldn't be where he is. There's a lot of fucking baseball players that would not Lil be Wayne. Here. Yeah.
Denzel Washington.
Denzel Washington's a huge one.
He's a very big supporter on how this country is not, how did you say it?
Systemically
racist. He is a big supporter, a big believer. He is 100% behind the fact that this country is not systemically racist. And if you don't mind, I know you were saying before we go, we could just go into this for a little bit. If not, just tell me to shut up and stop talking. I came up, without giving names, places, stuff like that, locations, I came up in so many demographics. I mean, I went to black schools with a few white kids. I went to white schools with a few black
You're down
kids.
Red Hook, right?
That was one of the areas. I was a lot of places. I literally have been, if I can, off the top of my head, I probably went to more schools from kindergarten to 12th grade than there are grades. I probably went to more schools than there were grades.
Right.
Put it to you that way. A lot of the places I was in and out, I can safely and honestly say it's with confidence. I agree with them. I agree. It is not, this country is not systemically racist. It becomes racist when you make it when you make it a racial situation. Mm-hmm. I can't tell you how many situations I had seen played out in both ways. One color versus one color, two different colors, one color versus a different color, same color versus same color. I've seen it. It's some bad. I won't. The point I'm making is, it's never a race issue,
right?
Until someone says, "Well, is it because they're this color?" Well, no. Because then the minute that stigma, much like when we were talking about before, the minute that stigma is put on it, that's all of a sudden what it becomes about. And
so
that's...
So you're talking like third party comes in and says, well, this must be a race issue because you two are that. And then everyone around them be like, well, it's racist. There's racism in this school. There's racism wherever.
Yeah. If anybody... one school in particular was a predominantly white school.
Right.
And sad but true, myself, I'm not the lightest skinned folk there is. I was definitely darker than most of the demographic in that school, but I was one of 5 people that were darker skinned. And upon it being admitted to that school, even though it was only for 3 months, and it wasn't because I was in trouble or nothing, but we we were only there for that school for 3 months. That was a topic of discussion. Literally to be asked, I can remember the feeling of uncomfort in the classroom to be asked.
Just like a tension?
Yeah, like, what does it feel like to be, a person of Hispanic ethnicity?
They actually asked that?
Oh yeah.
By who?
By the teacher.
Really?
Well, we're talking about this, Charlie. Anything you want to shed light on? What do you mean? Well, aren't you Hispanic? Well, my ethnicity. I have hair. I have Italian and Spanish heritage. Oh, you're also Italian. I couldn't tell. You have darker olive toned skin. We just figured you were Hispanic. Does your family celebrate any culture? This and that. And I'm like,
Christmas.
I remember like
I don't know. Are we supposed to? They put you on a spotlight?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And that was, but then there was other schools where, never. Never, nothing ever happened. It was A, B, C, end of the day. Bueller. You know, that kind of shit. But I do remember. And here's another example. Until today, I remember, I laugh because I remember my grandmother came to school to bitch the teacher out. So we were singing a song, and it was during like a Spanish celebration, Spanish heritage situation, and there was a part in the song that called for a rolling R sound, like a cheer.
Right.
I won't recreate it because
why not? For the viewers at home and the ones listening, I think it should be like an ASMR video now.
A pass it.
You just have to roll your R. Shh. Okay, go ahead.
No, but
with the rolling R, go ahead.
I remember just sitting there, and I knew the song. And everyone's like, oh, this is a cool song. I'm like, yeah, I know this song. So I start singing along. And then that part comes out, and I belted it right across the classroom. And lo and behold, did I know, oh, well, that makes sense, Charlie. You're a Hispanic. You can roll your R's. You're going to do that in the talent show for the class. With the class. I'm like,
what?
So once again, and this
which would be blatant racism, just... Yeah.
Now it is? Oh, fuck yeah. But back then, it was capitalizing on heritage. I felt uncomfortable, but I was being praised for what I was.
Right.
In that moment.
Which is odd. That's like one of those, what do I do? What do I do with my hands?
No, and like, Mrs. P, I won't say her full name, but till today... Mrs. P, if she ever saw these videos, she'd know I'm talking about her. No, but I, and that's just it. Nowadays, though, that's not viewed like that anymore, and it becomes the country isn't system.
Somebody would bring now in your mindset. Now, if that went through, would you have a problem with it?
No. Because
somebody would.
Oh yeah, and that's where the systemic racism comes from.
Right.
The minute somebody goes, well, they only said that to that gentleman because his last name is European, so he must have some whatever in his blood.
Right.
That's a racial thing. That's a racial profiling situation. Now it's a race game.
How long before you think we get to the point where it's like, well, he can speak Spanish, have him do it? Well, that's fucking racist. Like where it gets so touchy.
I genuinely, here's the best part. I'm glad you brought that up. That will never be a topic of discussion. That will never be a race card played.
No.
Do you know why? Because the minorities are the majority now. Mm-hmm. So the Spanish community is only one of many that outnumber the Caucasian American.
No,
European or whatever.
That's not true.
Whatever it is.
I think white America, as Eminem would put it, we're still like 65 or 70% of America, the Caucasian race.
Oh, I apologize. Then my mistake.
Just don't fucking let it happen again. Yeah, rule supreme. The largest minority group, I think, is Spanish. The fastest growing, last I checked, this might be different now, but the fastest growing was Asian.
And you know what's funny? 20 years ago, what did they used to hear in the cartoons, the movies? Oh, Mandarin's the language of the future. It's funny. Back in the 80s, they were saying the same thing about Spanish.
Dr. Michio Kaku said that English was going to be... he talks about just the evolution of the human species. Now we're kind of getting off topic here, but...
That's fine.
And he talks about a type 0, type 1, type 2 civilizations and compares it to Star Trek. Like Star Trek being the type 2 civilization where we're intergalactic and we have colonies all over, and he says we're in a type 0 situation where we rely on fossil fuels and we have like primitive, like we don't control anything with the earth, like not the seasons, the weather, anything like that. We're just basically here and at the mercy of everything. Mm-hmm. And a type 1 civilization is actually where we basically break down all the barriers, which I'll get back to that idea in a second. And we have a universal language, he says we have the beginning of a universal telephone, which is the internet.
Yep.
Everything is uniform and just one. There's no nations, there's no anything. It's one giant thing that operates. Going back to the breaking down national barriers, I was gonna mention this earlier, ask earlier, and I forgot, but this just brought it back up. I think the only way, tell me if you agree or not, I've thought about this a lot over a long period of time, way before any of this happened. I think the only way to get rid of any kind of racial anything or any kind of tribal mentality is, and this is an extreme, which the idea has a lot of issues with it in and of itself. You'd have to get rid of any kind of border, us versus them thing. So all uniforms in schools would have to be a thing. But then you could no longer have any kind of individual clothing. It'd have to be uniforms everywhere. There could no longer be towns, street names. There could no longer be villages, towns, states, national borders. All would have to be abolished. Nations. Sports teams, couldn't have them. Anything, us versus them. There couldn't be any kind of, like, basically somehow you'd have to have one skin tone. You couldn't even have gender, which is a weird direction of where we're going.
Yeah.
Which all of that, like, you'd be like, what the fuck? But then you want, like, getting rid of us versus them mentality, tribalism, which is what racism and all this other stuff is. That's the only way. But you go from the set of problems we have now to this whole new set of problems. Which that set of problems would be the transition from getting there to there, which would be freedom rights and individual thought and choice, and that's a whole nother thing. I think that delves deeper into a lot of issues, at least in our mind frame now.
I
thought about that. It's like one of those puzzles. Like, how do you solve this? And you think about it, like, I don't know I don't know. I have no idea.
I mean,
maybe that's what others, our cliche look at an alien. It has really no gender. Maybe that's what they've gotten to.
And that's why.
And that's why they're thriving and traveling here and being like, look at these fucking monkeys. And they just fly away.
I came the wrong way. Oh, see you later.
Oh, God. I don't want to go to the zoo.
Imagine if we were. That's what the UFOs are. The visitors. Mommy, I want to go to the zoo today. Oh God, Earth's the closest, right? Fuck, let's go to the nebula. We'll skip Earth today. Yeah. Mommy, I want to go to Earth.
Coming to Earth for the zoo is like going to like the Utica Zoo or something. Something that's kind of. No, that's too
every nice. Now and again you get to watch nice. Two lions hump, but that's about it.
What's that one that's like right up in Mayfield? Or is the one that's like one
Adirondack Game
like
Land,
dilapidated and
the Adirondack Animal Land. That's it.
Yeah, that's Earth.
That's Earth.
Like a clown that just looks sad, not because he's supposed to, because like the guy underneath the makeup is just sad.
So I would agree to the extent of saying. There is I could see where that uniform civilization, one currency, one country, but you never, I think.
Which is the biblical NWO, mind you.
New World Order, yep.
Yeah.
Which
has been said quite often in the media lately, yeah. Which is interesting.
But I think wherever you have the slightest fraction of an individual thought, you'll never succeed with it.
Right.
Because the minute someone says, "Well, I could probably do a little bit better," that's done.
That's true. And
in evolutionary, it's not even a human nature. In an evolutionary standpoint, believe what you will, creationism versus evolutionism. If you look at it from an evolutionary standpoint, why do we evolve? To be better than the previous.
Right, because of free thought.
Well, not even free thought, but because of necessity. Look at giraffes. Mm-hmm. The reason their necks are so long, they evolved to that point. This way they could get the most nutritional leaves. Sloths, they're slow as fuck, but they can climb trees and stay up there and sleep, where Other animals aren't even going to try. Snakes, birds, spiders, they're not going to go up that high as they can go. Koala bears, sperm whales. Did you know the sperm whale is the loudest animal in the ocean?
Really?
Yeah, you can always hear it coming.
And on that dad joke, NWO.
Good night, folks. Suck it. It wasn't even just that. It was more like we got talking about it. And it's like, oh my god, that's a great idea. This doesn't swivel like this, does it? It's like.
What do you need it for?
It's like, turn it at me. The fuck? We are retarded.
I do it frequently, so.
We gotta get another swivel. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
I'm not stupid.
Well, you.
Oh, you did it.
Well, it does.
Oh, wait. There you go.
Just make sure that the wording, because the filament and the microphone, I have it so it matches the wording. So, wherever your wording is facing, that's where you're going to get the clearest audio and whatever. I don't want to be too way back. Sometimes I almost feel bad because my chair goes way back. Let's talk about stuff.
I'm so engaged right now.
Yeah. That should be the sign when I'm bored. I'm like, tell me more about whatever you're talking about. Yeah, it's interesting. Well, all right, we're gonna cut that. It's like it's only been 3 minutes. Like, oh, has it? I thought it was 30.
Oh, jeez, I feel like I just got laid.
So cartoons?
Yeah, just the cartoons from back when we were kids.
Oh, just not in general?
No, not even in general, because nowadays everything is special. Yay!
Yeah.
End of the episode.
So.
Think! No! End of the episode. That's it. That's cartoons nowadays. Yo Gabba Gabba. No, not Yo Gabba. Corey Carson or whatever.
I had no idea. I don't know any of those. I
only know of Corey Carson because of Lily. Brittany, it's Hobby's little girl. She loves it.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't.
When I first heard, oh wait, Corey Feldman? No, Corey Carson. Corey Hayes? No, Charlie. Who are they? I'm like, I hate you.
I don't.
I literally looked right at Brittany and said, I hate you.
I don't know any of the new cartoons or any of it really.
No, I mean, if you want to talk about
yeah, we can do a 3-person. Why not?
Yeah.
I definitely have. I updated all my cables except that one. I got the new cable, the male female 1/8 inch to go into the camera because there's a very slight hiss in that. Not even a hiss. It's more of a real low bum. It's a bum. It is a bum. Buzz or hum. A bum. Kind of in between. Anyway. See, I was right. I
wish we could smoke weed again.
So that wouldn't be prudent. So I got a new one that was fiber insulated. Thinking, oh, that'll be great. And fiber insulated, it cut out like any kind of interference. Got it, hooked it up, and it went from a bum to a quite audible hiss. Like, what the fuck? Like, so I went back to that cable. The other one I chucked in there just in case I wanted to use it for whatever, headphones or something. If I for some reason, need to reach 20 feet.
Yeah.
With headphones on. So I have extra extension for headphones. Whatever. Anyway. Yeah, I could do
But yeah, no, because he jumped right on it, and I'm like, holy fuck, I thought it was.
I'm gonna ask.
I had a good idea.
I'm participating in life.
I make matter.
Yes, you do make matter. It comes out of your ass.
That's what that's called?
Yes.
Boy, I've been sticking the wrong object in when I can.
Well, we're going to cut this, right?
Yeah. We're not recording, are we?
Yes, we've been recording the whole time.
Yeah, cut all that, please.
Oh, but that's the good stuff.
Oh, but not the stuff we can put online.
Oh. So you're familiar with Valium?
No, very. Oh,
will you cut this, please?
No, it really made myself sad.
So what do? I use it as an intro to a podcast.
Yeah, I know, right? I remember. Oh, wait, I remember that one. Yeah. I thought you were asking me if I really knew about Valium.
No, it was Ty standing right there. I mean, like, so you're familiar with Valium? Actually, it's in reverse order. You cut this, please. So you're familiar with Valium. And then it automatically goes to the intro credit.
Oh, fuck. Percocet, Xanax, Valium.
Oh.